Good morning, everybody. I have been a hiker for about 12 years, and being a hiker with a YouTube channel, I thought this would be a good video topic geared towards beginner hikers. In my list, things will depend on the length of the hike, the season you're hiking in, the specific conditions for that day, the location, etc. So this is a general list for day hikes. All right, I'm gonna put on my hat so I look a little bit more outdoorsy. All right, now we're ready. Here is my list of 5 things you should do before going on your day hike. Number 1, figure out where you're going. This might seem kind of obvious, but besides actually figuring out which hike you're doing, make sure you know where you can park. Make sure you know where the parking lot is located. Make sure you know if you need any parking passes or permits. Just a few weeks ago, I was meeting a friend for a hike, and he tapped the directions button on all trails, and for some reason, his phone's GPS took him an hour and a half away from where the actual trailhead was. I like to confirm on Google Maps ahead of time just to make sure I know where I'm going and that the map is taking me to the right spot. In terms of passes, if you're going to a national park pass would be required. If you're going on any other hike, check online before you go to see if any passes or permits are required. They are being required in more and more places lately. Number 2, figure out the proper attire. This will depend on the seasons and where you are going. If you're going to higher elevations, remember that conditions can change at any time. I used to live in Colorado, and I'll never forget my first hike there was in mid-June, and on parts of the hike I was trudging through 5 feet of snow. It wasn't even cold out, but I did not have the proper footwear, and I was a little bit worried about frostbite. Now we live in the Pacific Northwest, and waterproof attire is quite important in the winter months. Just keep in mind that the weather where you're going for your hike might not match the weather you're at when you're leaving for your hike. Number 3, try not to get lost. Bring a trail map. All Trails is amazing and extremely popular. If you're using All Trails to choose your hike, you can also use the map in there to make sure you don't get lost. If you don't have cell service, you'll need All Trails Plus, the premium subscription, to download offline trail maps. Many designated trails are either numbered or named and will have signs along the way to help you make sure you don't get lost. We've only had one minor scare, and it took us about 10 minutes to get back to where we were trying to go. We had no cell service, but eventually made our way back to the trail. Number 4, snacks and drinks. I don't go on the trail without snacks and water. For snacks, if I'm hiking about 1 to 3 miles, I'll usually bring 1 snack bar, like a Kind bar. If I'm going 3 to 4 miles, I might bring 2 snack bars. If I'm going somewhere between 4 and 6 miles, I'll probably add on a tuna packet. If I'm doing 6 to 8 miles, I'll usually have those snacks plus either some jerky or trail mix. If I'm doing anything more than 8 miles, I'll have the same snacks, but usually bring a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a cold cut sandwich as well. For water, I've read to bring about 16 ounces per hour of hiking per person. I usually just fill my 3-liter Camelback because I'd rather have too much than too little. But it's not always better to have too much because it will weigh down your bag. Number 5, trail etiquette and leave no trace. You may not realize it, but these things are taken very seriously. I've put a link in the description from the National Park Service, but some things I want to point out. Uphill hikers have the right of way, even though they might want that rest break. Bicyclists should yield to hikers. Unless stated otherwise, bicyclists should be yielding to hikers, even though you don't always see that. And hikers yield to horses. Sometimes you run into horses on the trail. Also, let yourself be known to others. Don't be sneaking up on people. If you want to pass somebody, just ask politely. Don't disturb the wildlife and stay on the trail. That leads me to the leave no trace principles. I've also linked below lnt.org. I'm not going to go into great detail, but leave the place as you found it. Take your snack wrappers with you, stay on the trail to avoid disrupting the landscape, and don't pick wildflowers or damage live trees. As it reads on lnt.org, picking a few flowers does not seem like it would have any great impact, and if only a few flowers were picked, it wouldn't. But if every visitor thought, I'll just take a few, a much more significant impact might result. I hope this list was helpful for you and will get you motivated to get out there on the trail. If you thought so, it would mean a lot to me if you would subscribe to my channel. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.